Hey, today I'm going to demo primarily my new camera, which is a Sony HDR-CX110 HD. I'm going to see how well it records my amplifiers. So what I'm going to do is kind of do a side-by-side demo of my Fender Blues Junior and my Peavey Delta Blues amps. And hopefully it'll be useful, whether you're looking to buy one of those amps or actually the Sony handycam. So first I'm going to show you a little bit about the amps and then we'll take a listen. Okay, the most obvious thing you're going to see difference between the two amps is that the Peavey has a 15-inch speaker, whereas the Blues Junior has a 12-inch speaker, and that necessarily means that the Peavey amp is a lot heavier than the Blues Junior. Now, the Blues Junior, the one I have, has a black Tolex, but you can get I guess like the tweed version. It's more expensive. The Fender that I have is one of the made in Mexico Fenders. So I don't know how the ones that are made in the U.S. sound compared to the made in Mexico. Maybe they have a different speaker. I think they do. But anyway, mine is made in Mexico. The Peavey amp is made in the U.S. and it's a 30 watt compared to 15 watt for the Blues Junior. And it's got it's not a true tweed cover, but it's like a Tolex that is textured to look like the old vintage Fender amps actually. So now we're going to take a look behind the scenes. Okay, this is the back of the Blues Junior, and as far as the tubes go, both amps have the same preamp section, 3 12AX7 tubes, and the power tubes are actually the same too. The Blues Junior has 2 EL84 tubes, and the the Delta Blues has 4 EL84 tubes. So the same tube structure, the only difference is since the Delta Blues is a 30 watt amp and the Blues Junior is a 15 watt amp, you've got the 4 EL84s in the Peavey as opposed to the 2 in the Fender. Other than that, different manufacturers but the same tubes. As far as the controls for the Blues Junior, you've got the middle, bass, and treble controls. You only have one channel, but you do have like a master volume and overall volume, so you can get your gain from that. Has a reverb, and I think the reverb on the Fender is far superior to the reverb that is on the Delta Blues, but you probably expect that from a Fender. You've got this little switch here, which I think they call the fat switch, which is just really a volume boost. So pretty straightforward controls here. Now on to the Peavey Delta Blues, kind of similar. You've got the middle, bass, and treble switches, knobs here. You do have a reverb. Like I said, I like the one in the Fender better. The big difference here, and let me see if I can get this lighted a little bit better, is you've got like this normal switch, which is the volume for, I guess, the clean channel. And you've got a little channel switch here that switches between your clean and your overdrive, and then for your overdrive you have a preamp volume and a post amp volume. So that's where you can dial in your gain and your master volume. Another big difference between the Delta Blues and the Blues Junior is that you have your effects loop in and out here, and you also have a tremolo with your speed and depth knobs here. Personally, I don't use tremolo that much, but it is available on this amp. So you know, more options as far as, you know, your tone and your reverb and your tremolo, and if you want to run effects in and out. It does have an effects loop, like I said. I think the biggest thing I like about the Peavey amp is the speaker, and we'll get in here and see if I can get a good shot of it. But it's a Peavey Blue Marvel, but I think it's actually an eminent speaker that they've labeled for Peavey, and it's 15-inch, and it moves a lot of air. So this is a very loud amp compared to the Blues Junior. So it may be that where Blues Junior may be better for like recording or small gigs, you could probably do a, you know, medium-sized venue with a Delta Blues. And again, you've got the 3 preamp tubes here and the 4 power tubes here. One drawback of the Peavey amp is there's no cover for the tubes. I mean, this is how it comes, wide open. So if you're gigging with this amp, I guess you gotta be careful as you're transporting it that you don't bust the tubes. I have seen aftermarket applications where you can put a grill here, but it does come like this, just wide open. I've also seen a little thing with springs that holds the tubes up to keep them from rattling. The Blues Junior actually comes with a little rack to help keep the tubes in place. So anyway, both very good amps, I think. I think for the style of playing that I use, I like Peavey a little bit better, just because it's got a better overdrive sound. But we'll take a listen to the clean sounds and the overdrive sounds now.